Hi all, NCERT Class 8 History Chapter When People Rebel 1857 and After. Nawabs lost their power. Since the mid-19th century, Nawabs and Rajas had seen their power erode. They had gradually lost their authority and honor. Many ruling families tried to negotiate with the company to protect their interests. For example, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi wanted the company to recognize her adopted son as the heir of the kingdom after the death of her husband. Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao II, pleaded that he be given his father's pension when the latter died. However, the company turned down all these pleas. The doctrine of lapse. The final wave of annexations occurred under Lord Dalhousie, who was the Governor General from 1848 to 1856. He derived a policy that came to be known as the doctrine of lapse. The doctrine declared that if an Indian ruler died without a male heir, his kingdom would lapse, that is, become part of company's territory. One kingdom after another was annexed simply by applying this doctrine. Satara 1848, Sambalpur 1850, Udaipur 1852, Nagpur 1853 and Jhansi 1854. Subsidiary Alliance. Sometimes the company forced the states into a subsidiary alliance. According to the terms of this alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent armed forces. They were to be protected by the company, but had to pay for the subsidiary forces that the company was supposed to maintain for the purpose of this protection. Awadh was one of the last territories to be annexed. In 1801, a subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, and in 1856 it was taken over. Governor General Dalhousie declared that the territory was being misgoverned and British rule was needed to ensure proper administration. Now the company began to plan how to bring the Mughal dynasty to an end. For this, the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. In 1849, Governor General Dalhousie announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the family of the king would be shifted out of the Red Fort and given another place in Delhi to reside in. In 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king, and after his death, none of his descendants would be recognized as kings. They would just be called prince. The peasants and the sepoys. In the countryside, peasants and zamindars resented the high taxes and rigid method of revenue collection. Many failed to pay back their loans to the moneylenders and gradually lost the land they had tilled for generations. The Indian sepoys in the employ of the company also had reasons for discontent. They were unhappy about their pay allowance and conditions of service. Some of the new rules, moreover, violated their religious sensibilities and beliefs. In those days, many people in the country believed that if they crossed the sea, they would lose their religion and caste. So, when in 1824 the sepoys were told to go to Burma by the sea route to fight for the company, they refused to follow the order, though they agreed to go by the land route. They were severely punished, and since the issue did not die down, in 1856 the company passed a new law which stated that every new person who took up employment in the company's army had to agree to serve overseas if required. Sepoys also reacted to what was happening in the countryside. Many of them were peasants and had families living in the villages, so the anger of the peasants quickly spread among the sepoys. Responses to reforms. The British believed that Indian society had to be reformed. Law was passed to stop the practice of sati and encourage the remarriage of widows. English language education was actively promoted. After 1830, the company allowed Christian missionaries to function freely in its domain and even on land and property. In 1850, a new law was passed to make conversion to Christianity easier. This law allowed an Indian who had converted to Christianity to inherit the property of the ancestors. Many Indians began to feel that the British were destroying their religion. Thank you.